I'll do a quick explanation of what it is. For those who haven't watched Baby Reindeer, it's on Netflix. It's a true story, limited series, 8 episodes, about a guy who was stalked for like a year and a half, 2 years or something in total, the whole thing was, by a crazy lady. And it's a true story. It's written and acted by the actual stalkee. Yeah, so it's actually acted by the guy who got stalked, and it's great. It's not like it's awful that it happened to him and everything that happened to him, but it's like it's an intriguing show to watch, I'd say. And this is Piers Morgan is interviewing the real stalker, so the real Martha. I haven't seen this, so are we ready? Here we go. Let's do it.
This show is incredible.
Baby Reindeer.
He got absolutely obsessed.
A beef curtain.
I did not move.
Everybody is talking about Baby Reindeer.
Now fans are trying to find the real people behind the story.
Because it doesn't depict real life events.
It's blown up so quickly and so fast all around the world that I didn't expect it.
First of all, why have you decided to go public? When did you know that you were the person being depicted? He says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you. Have you ever been to prison? What do you feel about Richard Gadd? You think he's mentally unwell? Did you ever turn up at his house? Would you accept that someone who did that would be very obsessive about something? Here's the thing, I don't know the truth. You do. You look down the barrel of that camera. To people who still doubt you, what do you say to them?
But. Okay, cool. These questions, I know this is going to be amazing. I really hope he touches on the fact that she stalked other people too. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that it's not just questioning what happened between these two, or the fact that like she's stalked others as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm hoping he brings that up.
First things that viewers of Baby Reindeer are told by Netflix is that this is a true story. Not based on a true story or inspired by real events, but a true story. It's emphatic about that. The show's writer, comedian Richard Gadd, even plays the lead role himself. Many millions of people across the world have now seen it. It's one of the biggest Netflix shows of the year. And I've watched it all. It's a riveting, emotionally intense drama worthy of all the critical plaudits it's now receiving. Viewers are gripped by the apparently real-life struggle of a fledgling stand-up comedian who is mercilessly stalked by an older woman, Martha, in a 3-year onslaught of harassment. Martha bombards him with tens of thousands of lurid emails, leaving hundreds of voicemails, lurking outside his house, attacking his partner, even confronting his family and friends. Now, Richard Gadd said that he and Netflix had gone to such great lengths to disguise Martha's real identity that she wouldn't even recognize herself. But that wasn't true.
Oops.
Many people did recognize her very quickly. And the woman at the center of the story was outed online within hours simply by cross-referencing her posts on social media with those that were used in the show. Other details about her character bear a striking, unavoidable similarity with the real woman now accused of being the crazed stalker Martha. The show raises uncomfortable questions about the line between fact and fiction, fantasy and reality. Another innocent man in the television industry has been falsely accused of sexual assault based on one of the storylines in the drama. Well, Fiona Harvey is the woman outed as the real Martha of Baby Reindeer. She's chosen to confirm her identity because she wants to have a right of reply. And so, in her first television interview, she joins me now in the studio. Well, thank you for joining me, Fiona. First of all, why have you decided to go public?
The internet sleuths tracked me down and hounded me and gave me death threats, so it wasn't really a choice. I was forced into this situation.
What do you hope to achieve in this interview?
I came on your show because you're a veteran broadcaster. I think you'll give me a fair hearing.
Of all... Sorry, there's been lots of pauses. Of all of the shows to decide to come on to, you choose Piers Morgan. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why would you choose Piers Morgan? He's the most brutal... Thank you for the follow. He's the most brutal interviewer there is. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would she choose him? She should go on This Morning. They're quite, like... straight cut to, but like kind of gentle but straight. Do you know what I mean? Like rather than Piers Morgan. Anyway, sorry. Okay, first of 20 bajillion pauses, I'm sure.
You were persecuted yourself not so long ago. So that's why I've chosen this show.
Have you watched the drama?
Not at all. I've heard about the court scene, about the jail sentences and all this sort of stuff.
But you really haven't watched any of it?
I haven't watched any of it.
You're not curious to?
No, I think I'd be sick. It's taken over enough of my life. I find it quite obscene. I find it horrifying, misogynistic.
There is no way that if you were completely innocent or whatever she's about to say, there is no way that you wouldn't watch it. You'd want to know what people were saying about you, like completely, like unless you know that you're a crazy person and therefore everything that's on there is like accurate. Like you would just watch it.
Some of the death threats have been really terrible online. People phoning me up. You know, it's been absolutely horrendous. I wouldn't give credence to something like that, and it's not really my kind of drama.
When did you know that you were the person being depicted in this? 5
years ago on BBC Breaking News, I saw Mr. Gadd had written a play for the Edinburgh Festival, and he was holding up placards, MP's wife stalker, and all of this, and he'd called it Baby Reindeer. That's all I knew. And I thought, well, I've only met this guy 2 or 3 times. I don't know him. And left it at that. I should have possibly jumped it at that stage.
And when did you know that Netflix were doing something?
2 weeks ago. I had just moved flats, so it was 2 weeks ago past Saturday.
And how did you hear?
I saw on BBC Breaking News that he'd sold to Netflix, and both he and this character, Martha, this Jessica actress, seemed to be promoting mercilessly.
Did you think then it was you that they were depicting?
I thought it was me they were depicting 5 years ago because of this MP's wife stalker article that had been a number done on me by the Sunday Mail 25 years ago when I was going for Donald Joe's parliamentary seat. So I had a vague idea then. The Daily Mail then approached me on the Wednesday, 2 weeks ago, so sort of 2 weeks tomorrow. But 2 weeks ago, if you see what I mean, and told me that I was getting death threats online, that I'd been outed as Martha. There were TikTok videos. And
were you
all
online at all? Because you were before, but are you these days online?
I've come off Facebook as of yesterday.
Are you on X, what used to be Twitter?
No, I'm not.
Because you had an account.
Yeah, that's right. Years and years ago. I'm scared to Google up BBC Breaking News. I'm certainly scared to Google up the Daily Mail in case I am on it in some bizarre circus.
That moment you realised it was you that they were depicting from what you were reading. The sleuths, as you say, had found your tweets. They compared some of the phraseology, they'd done the maths, and they worked out this was you that was being depicted. How did that make you feel?
Absolutely horrendous.
What?
Absolutely horrendous. I couldn't believe he'd done that. And so long after first meeting, you know, we're talking 10, 12 years ago, really horrendous. I didn't know who to trust. I was told by the Daily Mail, don't trust those bleeps in Scotland. Whereas I found John Dingwall of the Daily Record.
Well, she said she only met him once or
wonderful,
twice
actually.
a minute
Acted
ago.
with total courtesy. I couldn't believe this had happened.
I want to play a little clip. This is just some of the reaction to Baby Reindeer
Sure.
from members of the public.
She ends up becoming the craziest stalker I ever seen in my life.
And this is all a true story?
This is all a true story, yeah. And they've found the real woman online.
So I assume in the actual thing, they've obviously given her a different name. It's a different woman, but you know what I find? They always manage to find a similar looking woman, and the build tends to be the same.
I have a theory about this, though. I feel like he's done it on purpose because he knew that people would find her and he wants to make her life hell a bit.
Good.
When you hear that, what do you think?
The final guy on there, I think is correct. I think he always wanted this to come out, to persecute someone, to take attention away from him and this rape allegation. And I just generally think he's got extreme psychiatric problems.
I mean, there's no doubt he has problems. I mean, if you watch given that he's written it about himself, if you watch the whole thing as I did, all 5, 6 episodes, whatever it is, he has a lot of problems. He's quite open about it.
Yeah.
The question, I guess, which we'll come to, is how much of the way he depicts you is true. And your position is that it's just not factual.
It's a work of fiction, it's a work of hyperbole, as I've always said. And there are two true facts in that. His name is Richard Gadd, and he worked as a jobbing barman on benefits in the Holy Arms, and we met 2 or 3 times. Those are the only.
Well, let's go
facts.
let's go through some of these things.
Yeah,
So,
let's.
You first met him. I mean, the show shows you coming.
I'm so confused. I'm already so confused. If they'd only met 2 or 3 times, surely there'd be record of her being sentenced to, what was it, 9 months and a 5-year restraining order or something like that, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there will be, like, I'm confused. Like, surely that's just going to be proof right there and then. Bam. Who's telling the truth? Her or him? If there's no record of a prison sentence for 9 months for stalking and harassment on 3 counts of it, then he's lying. If there is a record of it, she's lying. This should be like, why would she even say that it was 2 or 3 times if there is in fact a record, which I'm guessing there is, otherwise Netflix wouldn't have like picked it up or wanted anything to do with it if it was a lie. Do you know what I mean? And therefore to Netflix to promote it as a true story, that like the Netflix suits are going to do their fact checking to make sure this isn't just some Looney Tunes dude who's like shaming some woman. So how can, like, I'm so curious what her answer to that is going to be. Do you know what I mean?
In to a London pub, you've just named the pub, and he's working behind the bar, Richard Gadd, and he offers you a cup of tea. Is that what happened?
No, that's not correct. He didn't offer me a cup of tea. Nobody gets anything free from the Holy Arms. I was in for a meal with a drink of lemonade, and I was very, very hungry. I'm diabetic, so very hungry. So that's.
And did you talk to him?
He interrupted a conversation. There was another barman there, and he said, "Oh, you're Scottish," and basically commandeered the conversation. I was talking to somebody. It's pretty rude to interrupt. So he seemed to be obsessed with me from that moment.
Just speaking to you, I've never met you before, but
Sorry.
you do look and sound very similar to the actress in the drama.
I haven't seen the actress. We're both Scottish. We've both got dark hair. She's considerably younger than me. I think she's about 18 years younger than me.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 58. I'm a year younger than you. And I think Jessica, the actress, is about 40, 38, 40.
It says in the show that you proceeded to return to the same pub time and again, but you never paid for a drink.
I don't drink alcohol. And
He never
Did you
said
pay
you
for
did.
anything that you had in the pub?
lemonade,
Diet Coke.
soft drinks.
Would he give you free drinks? Or?
No,
Diet
absolutely
Coke.
not. This is sort of a depiction of me as a pauper who wouldn't stand around or stand a drink. It's nonsense.
It says that you told Richard Gadd that he looked like a baby reindeer toy you once had as a child, hence the name of the show.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I appear to have written most of the show in my sleep. I dressed.
Did you have a baby reindeer
I
toy?
had a toy reindeer.
So that's true.
And he'd shaved his head. That bit is true. And there were reindeers in the shops. It was Christmas time or something. It was a joke. So I have inadvertently penned the name of the show.
Right, but that is true.
That's true. That's a true fact.
Whilst bantering with you, Richard Gadd told you he'd like to hang your curtains. Is that true?
This, I think, was a Holy Arms joke about curtains and a lot of sexual innuendo.
He did say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you caught Richard Gadd looking through your window after he followed you home one day?
False.
You never saw him at your house?
I didn't see him at my house. I think it would be impossible to look through a window.
Did anyone else ever see him there?
No.
So as far as you were concerned, he never turned up at your place?
Correct.
But the Netflix show has him doing that?
Yes, I believe so. I've been told that.
But that categorically didn't happen?
That categorically didn't happen.
In the course of your relationship with Richard Gadd, you send him 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages,
41,000!
744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day?
That was the point.
Well, it'd be obsessively
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What
None
did
of
you
that's
send
true.
him?
No, none of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
You never sent him anything?
No. I think there may have been a couple of emails exchanging, but that was it. Just jokey banter emails.
Netflix have said that these details are the real ones. That this is
This
exactly
is completely incorrect.
So you're
Where would
denying
anyone-
sending anything to him?
There may have been a couple of emails.
Text
but
messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
No.
Did you
But
tweet
surely
him?
they have
I may
proof.
have done years and years ago.
You actually tweeted him numerous times.
No, it wasn't numerous. It was about 18 tweets there or 14.
It's quite a
tweets.
lot to someone who's not that well known.
But we were all friends. You know, it was banter.
She said she only met him two or three
You were
times.
contacted. That's in public.
Yes, I mean this.
Did you write him letters?
Public, no. I think when I saw the rape interview, that's actually incorrect. What I said there when I saw that in the Guardian, I said, "What a shame! It's not your fault." Something
You
like
did
that.
write to him.
One later.
So you would say you only sent him a handful of emails. You never texted him.
No.
You tweeted him 18 times, you think. You never sent a Facebook message.
Hey, weird girl, how
And
you
you wrote him
doing?
one letter.
Yeah.
So why have they got all these details here which are supported?
Who is they? Netflix.
Who has
Which
sent
is
all
not
these things?
correct. So I'm sorry.
Who has sent all this stuff to him?
I've no idea. I think he's probably made it up himself.
But they must
I
have
mean,
proof.
you could prove, I guess, quite easily it wasn't you.
Correct.
Because it'd all be on your computer.
Yeah,
from the
correct.
post.
That's right.
Would you be happy for someone to look at that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What do you have? What technology do you use?
Right, what technology do I use? A very, very old smartphone just now because the other one packed up a week before moving. That's it.
Because they're all sent from an iPhone.
Yes, so
But they believe it wasn't actually an iPhone ever being used.
meaning what
Meaning
kind
that
of
someone was
phone?
hiding the fact that they were actually not using it. They were pretending it was from an iPhone.
I don't really understand that.
Well, people can mask where they're sending stuff from.
Okay, right. I'm not technology whiz kid of the year. I wasn't doing that either.
I mean, obviously, when you make such an emphatic denial of the central point of the story, you're basically accusing both him but also Netflix of lying about it.
I am.
Okay, cool, good.
And that's pretty defamatory.
It's not defamatory if it's true.
No, it's defamatory that they've been to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I misunderstood there. Yes, exactly. I don't see how anyone could do 41,000 emails and all this kind of stuff.
Why is she
you know.
not
I don't know how much you
madder?
know about technology, but are you aware that if it was you sending those emails, it would be very easy for the police, for example, to work out exactly where they come from? That the IP address would reveal
Yes,
that.
I understand that, and it stays on forever. But the point is, this was years and years ago. We were congratulating him.
But it would all still be there.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And if you sent 41,000 emails,
This
they'll all,
is just a lot of rubbish. Yeah, so that should be stored there.
well, they'd all be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got them.
He's not got 41,000 emails. That's over a year.
According to you,
How
there's
long
only-
would
there's
that
only a
take?
handful,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, how long would that take someone to type up?
How many do you
41?
think you sent him?
A handful.
Like,
If
like,
that.
what does that mean? How many?
Less than 10.
10 emails.
Not 41,000.
Right, there's a massive disparity between the two
Yeah,
things.
I agree.
I mean, if it's not you that sent all this, then clearly Martha cannot be you.
Yes, Martha cannot be me because there are
But
a
they
number
must
of
have-
allegations.
they must have been
that
able
have
to
been put me
prove
by
it.
Journalists.
I don't
that
understand.
are simply not true. There's a whole play. It's not just the emails. There's a sexual assault in the canal. There's
But if
also
the police looked at this, and if you sue, for example, then this will go to a court of law, and then on discovery, people will look into all this. The phone company will be asked about evidence.
Exactly. If she really wasn't Martha, like, oh my god, I can't cope with this. If she really isn't really Martha, wouldn't the first thing that you do when you realise that you are being blamed for being this psycho crazy stalker, blah 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 blah, the first thing you would do is you would want to sue a company as big as Netflix for defamation of character or whatever the term is called. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would be the first thing you would do. So there's no way you would just be like, oh, I just sat there and waited, and then I thought, well, I may as well come on the show, and I'm going to come on here with no evidence whatsoever and be like, I don't really know what happened. Like, there is no way. She would have been like, straight away, get that off the TV. Like, that just wouldn't happen. Oh my god. And she's just like blabbering nonsense. Like when he says there's an IP address without watching the show. Exactly. She hasn't watched the show, yet she seems to know about the subway scene. That obviously I can't repeat because there's a kid here. About the subway scene, about the fact that he was at her house, about Like, she's quoting things from the show, yet she hasn't watched the show, she reckons. But it's like, there is no way you wouldn't watch the show and you wouldn't sue for slander of character, blah, 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 blah. Like, honestly, it's like, it's absolutely baffling me. My head's a little bit like... That's why I keep laughing, because I'm just like, this wouldn't happen. Imagine what old Piersy is sat there thinking right now. He must be like... Why am I talking to this woman? Like, thank God I'm making big bucks on this interview because like, oh my God, like, he must just want to, like, I don't know, like, just, I don't know, you know?
All the text messages, the internet providers will provide all the backup for the emails. Facebook will be asked about the Facebook messages, and so on. So all of this would come out in a court case.
In disclosure, yes.
And you're prepared to do that?
Yes.
But then why haven't you?
The emails.
Who do you think did?
I have no idea. I think he probably made them up himself. I've no idea. 41,000 emails.
Yeah. I mean, would you
I don't know.
Would you accept that someone who did that would be very obsessive about someone?
Please talk about her previous
that's a lot of
sentences.
emails.
Yeah, not gonna help.
Go away, adverts.
Also, not gonna help lose belly fat.
And why now? Why didn't you go to the police at the time? Or this sort of doesn't make sense.
I mean, the fact that Netflix have said this is based on reality, this is a true story, that Martha did, the real life Martha, the person they based this on, who Richard Gadd has written about, is the person that sent these. And he has the evidence to prove it. What you're saying is that proves you cannot be Martha.
Yes, and I would like to see Netflix's evidence for that, which would come out in disclosure as well.
And you're 100% sure it's not you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes on to say that you heckle Richard.
I mean, technically, Netflix didn't name her, right? Like, people worked it out based on things that she had said and done on social media. So there were some posts that she put on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, and so people were able to see, oh, well, she's done that, and she's done that, and she's done that, and she's Scottish, and she looks like that, so she must be Martha. Technically, Netflix didn't they didn't out her, so they didn't out her. So this isn't Netflix's fault. It's which makes it even less likely that she's telling the truth, because that means that it's people seeing her stuff and be like, whoa, wait a minute, you did that and that and that and that, because we can see it online. Depends how civil it is, if it's breaking the law of animosity, as long as they adhere to the law. Well, I'm sure Netflix did. Do you know what I mean? They're not like, it's not like me trying to write something and not having a clue what the law is. Like, no, exactly. Netflix are big enough to lawyer this stuff. Exactly. Like, I'm just. Let's continue.
Gadd, when he was appearing in his stand-up shows, did you ever do that?
No.
Never.
No, it's not.
Did you ever attend his stand-up?
I think I went to one.
Is there not CCTV?
You never shouted out or anything?
Why would I do that? No.
I don't know.
No. I mean,
Do you ever shout out at comedy shows? I don't know. People do.
No. I don't generally go to comedy shows. But
so you never heckled him?
No.
Did you ever attack Richard Gadd's girlfriend because you were jealous?
No, I don't think he had a girlfriend. I think he's homosexual. But no, I have never been to his house or attacked any girlfriend or anything like that.
There are lots of scenes where Martha is sitting outside his house all day for many days, sitting in a bus stop, sitting out there, walking around, and would occasionally shout at him. Did you ever do that?
No, I haven't seen the show, but I'm getting.
I have, so I'm telling you.
Yes, I got all the court allegations, the trial allegations.
Well, I'm going to come to that, but on that point, did you ever turn up at his house?
No, I don't know. I don't know where he lived. No, absolutely not.
So whoever's doing all this,
I know, right?
Completely different.
This is a fictional character, hyperbole, exaggeration. This is a fiction.
Well, it's based on
of his imagination.
They say it's based on a real person.
Who's they? Netflix.
Well, Netflix and Richard Gadd.
Who's they?
Richard Gadd. If they're saying that, it's absolutely not correct.
Did you ever contact Richard Gadd's parents and threaten them?
No, that allegation was put to me by journalists. No.
Never happened.
No.
There's one key point in the drama that has Martha's character pleading guilty to intimidating Richard Gadd in court and sentenced to 9 months prison.
Yes!
Let's watch.
Yes!
You're charged with the stalking of Mr. Donald Dunn between the dates of the 14th of August 2015 and the 22nd of March 2017. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You were charged with the harassment of Gerald Dunn and Eleanor Dunn between the dates of the 6th of June 2016 and the 22nd of March 2017. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty. My little reindeer.
Hey, Loki.
Now, again, there is obviously a resemblance between...
Do you think so?
Well,
That's hardly flattery.
I don't mean to flatter you or not flatter you. I just think there is a resemblance, having met you, and you both speak Scottish people. Yeah. But the fundamental point of this is, did you take part in that? So did you go to jail? Did you have a trial?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Have you ever been to prison?
No.
Have you ever been charged with a criminal offence?
No.
Never?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Please tell me the Piers.
So that scene is completely invented.
That's completely false, and I don't think the actress sounds like me. I mean, people compare me to Lorraine
got to do with
Kelly, but
anything?
I'm nothing like Lorraine Kelly. We all happen to have dark hair, and we're Scottish. You know.
That's got nothing to do with anything.
The actress is from Glasgow, I think, but I'm not sure.
No one cares
Which
about
part of
that.
Scotland are you from?
I'm from the Central Belt.
So a slightly different accent.
It's slightly different.
It's obviously not true, guys. The whole thing is not true because they do not resemble identically exactly the same on the show. They've got different accents, okay? Fake accent, the whole thing's made up. That's it, we're done. GG, the end. All good.
A Scot would know the difference. A Glasgow accent's
But that's
She's
the
so
fundamental point here, because if they basically have a key point in their drama, which they say is a true story, which involves you admitting to intimidating Richard Gadd and getting a 9-month prison sentence, and that is completely untrue.
That's completely untrue. Very, very defamatory to me. Very career damaging, and I wanted to rebut that completely on this show. I'm not a stalker. I've not been to jail. I've not got injunctions, interdicts. This is just complete nonsense. But it's, I mean, you'll know yourself, if you're charged with a criminal offence, it will go fine, bigger fine, whatever. Very few people go to jail.
Well, you'd have a police record.
Nowadays.
Yeah. Have you ever changed your name?
My surname was double-barreled.
What was it?
Muir Harvey. So Muir Harvey when
M-U-I-R.
Yes.
Harvey.
When I got when the parents got divorced, I changed it to Harvey. I just dropped.
So your maiden name when you were born was?
Yeah, that's right.
Was
Muir. Yes.
Muir Harvey.
Yeah.
So that's quite an unusual name.
Yeah.
So if you'd ever received a criminal conviction for anything, it would be on police files.
Yes.
And what you're saying is you've never been even charged with an offence.
No.
Let alone the one that they.
Yes,
enacted.
I mean this is 9.5 months in jail. Is pretty serious.
Did Netflix ever contact you?
No, no one's contacted me.
Never.
Never.
Did Richard Gadd tell you what he was doing?
No, I had worked it out when I saw the festival Baby Reindeer advert on BBC.
The Edinburgh Festival,
News,
which
the Edinburgh
is the show you
Festival.
did.
I just happened to see that. I was looking up the news for something else.
Because that's where he.
I just happened to see that.
Well, that's where he started telling the story, and that got picked up.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. And I think Martha then was a bar stool. I seem to recall reading that. It wasn't an actress or a person. It was a bar stool.
Let me just show a little clip. This is from Lorraine, actually, who you just compared yourself to. But let's take a look at this.
Well, other people do.
This is Richard Gadd on Lorraine.
I just thought it was the right time to sort of try and bring a nuanced conversation to something. I think the human condition is extremely complicated, and I felt like a lot of art and TV in this day and age had maybe simplified it too much.
It's not a villain and victim storyline. I think you're left with a lot more than that. It's kind of two lost people.
What's your response to that?
I think they're milking it for all it's worth for the money. She doesn't even sound Scottish in that interview. Her accent seems to be varying.
Well, she's not. She's English. She's an actress.
I was going to say she sounds more Lancashire to me. Yeah,
no, she's English. She's an actress.
Stop with the accent.
They're milking it for all they're worth.
No one cares about the accent.
Or to abuse someone on all over social media and all over, basically somebody who's not from Loveyland, not from Theatreland, just abused me all over the newspapers. If they're happy with themselves.
What do you feel about Richard Gadd?
I think he's psychotic, and I think that anyone going along, being in that play, and doing this to somebody, I find the behaviour outrageous.
He says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you, and that's why he befriended you.
Your staff said that to me in the waiting room. This is a lot of nonsense. I've got lots of friends.
What did you talk to him about?
It was just a Holly Arms banter. It was
like what? What kind of thing?
What you're going to do with your life, or
That's not
career
banter.
stuff. Sort of. And I thought
That's
it was a
conversation.
stand-up
That's
show.
not banter.
Is it possible
In
that
there.
is it possible he was under the impression that he felt sorry for you?
No, I never got that impression at all. I got the impression that he was all out for himself, wanted to sort of control that bar, very, very inarticulate, very full of himself. I should never have gone in that bar.
Do you wish you never?
If she really, really thought that about him, let's just say that, like, okay, cool, she actually did think he was full of himself and he was this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. Then why did she still befriend him enough that she wrote him one letter and, tweeted him, was it 14 to 18 times, although she said 10 times another time. Like, if I walked into a bar and somebody came across as a proper laddie lad, 18 times, there you go, and someone came across as a proper laddie lad, all like out for himself, and he's all this and the other, there is no way I'm going to be messaging him when I pop back home, like, oh, mate, how you? Like, I'm just not going to do that. Like, I might talk to them when they serve me in the bar by giving me my drink, and then I'm just going to be like, cool, GG, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like she's like slandering what. She's kind of saying that she hated who he was then. I understand her hating him now. Whether she did what she did or whether she didn't do what she did. We all know she did what she did. But you know what I mean? Like, now it makes sense that she hates him because of what he's put out there and everything. But she can't make out that she hated him then. When she went on to make a friendship with him, she literally said about 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago in this, we were all friends. But now she's saying, oh, I thought he was this, that, the other, and he's all out for himself, and he's all this. It's like, pick one! You don't even... do you know what? She should have at least memorised what she was going to say about this whole thing before she came on, because she's contradicting herself back and forward so much. Oh my God, it's literally giving me whiplash. There's no way Netflix didn't fact check this. Literally, I know. Let's be honest, stalkers are lies too. Yeah, definitely. It's...
Yes, absolutely.
Give it back.
Absolutely.
How long did you know him for, Richard Gere?
2-3 months. 2-3 months at maximum. He only worked there on certain days.
Are a twat.
Did you always go on the days you worked there?
No, I've been in there on different days having food.
Have other people from the pub contacted you?
Nobody's contacted me.
No one at all?
About this at all, apart from the media. The mainstream media and stalkers on social media.
He says, Richard Gere, he didn't see you as a villain, but as somebody who is unwell and needs help.
Yeah, well, he maybe should look a bit closer to home, to himself, as someone who needs help.
Well, he knows that, though.
What, you think he's mentally unwell?
Yes, I think he always was. Whether there was an alleged rape or whether that rape was real or conceived in his mind, I think that would make him more
That's a rape that he
unwell.
says happened.
Mhm.
It was a television person. We don't know who it was. Somebody was falsely linked with it, who turns out to have nothing to do with it. But it's a very graphic scene in the drama where
I
he
heard
is
that.
brutally raped after a lot of drugs are taken. And he's kind of he appears to be in the drama very self-reflective about himself. That he's no angel, he's not perfect, he's made lots of mistakes, and he didn't treat you in his eyes as a villain, like he says, as somebody he felt that you were both slightly lost souls.
I didn't know the rape scene was in the play until this morning. Somebody's daughter had watched it and told me about it. So I was surprised once again. Well, not surprised actually. I'm rarely surprised by anything he does nowadays. He seems to have written a couple of other shows about this alleged rape, then this one, and we've had no apologies from Netflix or him or nothing. I mean, for someone who says he feels sorry for me, I've had no apology, and I have this Martha character seems to have smashed up a bar, sexually assaulted him in a canal, been to prison. There are a number of other allegations.
And none of that is true.
That's not true.
He says that people shouldn't try to find out the identity of the real people in the drama. Do you give him credit for that? I mean,
No.
He actually tweeted this. People I love, have worked with and admire, including Sean Foley, who was the man wrongly accused of being the rapist, are unfairly getting caught up in speculation. Please don't speculate on who any of the real life people could be. That's not the point of our show. Lots of love, Richard.
Piers, I'm sorry, I can't see that. The date of that tweet, I can't actually see any of it.
That was literally like a few days after it was released.
Right. I saw the headline. It was all over BBC Breaking News 2 weekends ago for 4 days. With Martha promoting herself, the character Martha, Jessica, promoting herself, and him saying, don't speculate. Wow, that's a bit rich now, isn't it? The fans do speculate.
Well, it was almost instantaneous. You were tracked down incredibly quickly.
The Wednesday, the Daily Mail got in touch with me, so that was all over BBC Breaking News Friday.
Oh my God, stop saying BBC Breaking News!
I mean, the reason that internet sleuths were able to find out it was you was they found the tweets that you sent him throughout 2014. 10th of May, for example, 2014. Richard Gadd, did you get my recorded delivery letter sent to the theatre, sent to arrive bank holiday Monday? So you sent him a letter then?
That was that. Sorry, you were raped, something like that.
12th of June, same year, your tweets cheer me up, your timeline is good. 23rd of September, my curtains need hung badly.
We were trying to encourage him because with this first show or something like that.
You
It was a long time ago.
You know something?
She actually tweeted it. How on earth could she deny that? Why would you tweet that? Oh my God. Oh my God. She tweeted it publicly. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I had to pause because I knew I was going to laugh all the way over the rest of the talking. To be fair, tweeting that and then just search for I don't. She did find her. Literally. Oh my God. I actually can't believe that. I can't believe that.
December, please go and see Richard Gadd's show. It's well written and neurotic.
Yeah.
The filmed bum shots are the best. Fantastic ass.
It's a joke. It's a joke. We were trying to encourage him.
Nothing negative though about it there.
No, because I didn't think he was a complete psychopath who was going to attack me in this way.
But the show did involve you.
This show here, not that show there.
That made no reference to.
This was a previous show.
It made no reference to you, that show.
Which show?
The one you're talking about.
Yes. So, it's funny this is coming up now. My view is it's all about the money. The Martha Barstow Edinburgh Festival thing wasn't making any money. He'd failed as a comedian, he'd failed as an actor, and therefore, let's make some money, sell this to Netflix. I think anyone in their right mind, you had a group of guys on there in their 20s, they don't believe it.
Can I ask you, what was your upbringing like?
I was going to say standard Scottish, singing standard Scottish countryside.
Happy? I mean, happy upbringing?
Impoverished, but middle class upbringing, if you like.
Any siblings?
I have a sister. My mother worked incredibly hard. My parents got divorced when I was 9, but she worked like a Trojan.
Are either parents still alive?
My mother is, yeah.
And how does she feel about this?
I've not talked to her about it. I'm hoping she'll have just seen the Scottish headlines and that's it. She's not an internet freak or anything like that.
But she has no idea what's happened to you.
She will know bits. And she was very, very angry with Laura Walker for doing the original article when I went for parliamentary
You haven't talked to your mother about this?
No, and that may seem strange, but I don't want to worry her. I'll tell her I've been on this show when it airs.
You're going to tell her you've been on this show, but you haven't told her anything that's happened.
Let me
ask you. You don't want to worry her.
The Sun reported an interview with Laura Ray, who you've referenced, who accused you of inappropriate behaviour whilst you worked with her. Now, the background to this is that you came into contact with the late Glasgow MP Jimmy Ray, who died aged 78 in 2013, and his solicitor wife Laura, who was 62, when she was a former Labour Party member. Mrs. Ray said that she gave Aberdeen University law graduate you did graduate from Aberdeen?
Yes.
With a law degree. A trainee role at the legal firm MacPhail Lawrence Partnership in 1997. Is that true?
It was called L&L Lawrence. I think she forgets the name of her own firm. It was called L&L Lawrence.
But that's all true. She gave you a trainee job.
She lured me away from another firm. She headhunted
That's
me
not
to
what he's
another firm
asking!
Because she needed someone to do employment law. And I'm pretty good at employment law, so...
She said that she had to sack you days later because you were completely incapable of behaving yourself.
I walked. Her staff were really, really rude to me. Most people, half the Labour Party had been up there at one point or another and walked.
She then said that following you leaving, obviously very quickly, that you then harassed her. You were then known as Fiona Muir, obviously, as you said, Muir Harvey. Mrs. Ray said she was so frightened she issued workers at her firm with personal alarms. You were then served an interim interdict to stop you from contacting the lawyer or her politician husband. Daily Record
she
reported that.
messed up, I know, and I've still to speak to David about that, the author of that Daily Record article. She didn't. She messed up because I went into the Court of Session, the High Court in Edinburgh, to get countrywide interdicts, an interdict and an injunction in Scotland and England because I was going to move to London anyway. She mucked up.
So you went into court to get them yourself?
Yes, but
Against
there was
who?
no need against Laura Walker and Ginny Ray.
But she said one was served on you.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
An interim
We have checked this
interdict.
out.
And again, there would be a public record of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And
You're
what,
saying that it was never served?
what we think, she served the initial documents and
Oh,
then
she did?
no.
Oh my God!
She served the initial documents and then there was no hearing. It wasn't minuted for a hearing. I said I would defend, but she mucked that up too. She didn't fill up a second initial document. She then didn't minute for a decree in absence. So there is no interim interdict in Scotland.
Why would two people who have no contact with each other at all, Laura Ray and Richard Gadd, why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant
I don't know why Richard Gadd has, but Laura Walker, it was certainly because I was going for parliamentary selection.
The two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that as
Well,
a
that's in the
basis for his
drama,
show.
is when they find out that you had previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family. I didn't harass that family. And also I worked for her in 1987, 88. The parliamentary selection wasn't until 2000. He Googled up the article.
How do you know?
I knew he'd done that. I never went back to the Holy Arms. He was spreading it around Camden.
I see.
That I was a stalker.
You've never married?
No.
Have you had relationships?
Boyfriends, yeah.
Didn't she say?
I mean, if you
Didn't she say earlier on that she was married? That's why she had a double-barreled name. And then she said she had a double-barreled name. And then when she was no longer married, she dropped the name. Oh, no, her parents. Okay, all right, cool. So when they got divorced, she dropped one of their... Okay, cool. That makes more sense. I was like, right, yeah, cool. Never mind. As you are. Carry on. Okay.
don't mind me being curious.
I'm heterosexual.
Yeah, I mean, how many relationships have you had?
I told the staff that relationships were out of bounds. A lot more than Richard Gadd has, I would say.
I mean, he had a lot.
Quite a few.
Right.
Well, I don't know if he had a lot. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Well, then why would you
Now
say
you're
that?
going- here's my
Yeah.
point. Now you're going
Yeah.
public, then the men that you've dated over the years will see this.
Yeah.
They'll be aware of it. They'll hear you.
I don't think if your next question is going to be, am I stalking them? I think the answer's going to be no.
Well, no, I just wonder how do you think they would view you?
I think they are going to think what I think about Richard Gadd, that he's completely off his head. And I'm not worried about the current one because he's a lawyer and he.
So you currently have a
believes me,
boyfriend?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer?
Yeah.
In London?
Doesn't matter where he is.
How long-
I'd
how long-
rather.
No, I understand, but how long have you
5 years. 5 years.
You've been in a 5-year relationship?
Yeah, so I don't.
So what does he think
I don't
of
want
this?
to drag him in. He thinks this is horrendous. All of my lawyer friends do. All of my professional friends do. Other people do. People are being really sympathetic. People I don't know are saying things like, "Are you getting hounded in the street?" You know, people are being really, really nice.
I mean,
Anyone who does know about this.
You know, here's the thing. I don't know the truth. You do. And you've been emphatic in the number of denials you're making here.
That's right.
But many of those things that I've put to you can be proven
You're talking about emails and an email trail thing.
All that.
You know, all of that. You're obsessed with... sorry, I don't mean to be horrible.
I'm not obsessed with anything.
You've gone on at length for a good 10 minutes about the emails.
Well, only because the emails...
Because it's a vast number.
Well, there's a huge number, and voice messages. The voice messages he's kept, apparently, and there is...
He was maybe taping me in the holy arms. I don't know if he's got any voicemail.
But if he has 350 voice messages and it's you...
It doesn't mean the drama is true.
So there are
is it possible he's got 350 voice messages?
I doubt that very much.
Well, either yes or no.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, unless
wouldn't
he's
you be
taping me.
I mean, if you've never really contacted him, if he's
He
got
could have been taping me in the holy arms, though.
But if he's got 350
I've not contacted
but if these
him.
are on his phone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether they're on a phone, tablet, whatever they're on. I've not contacted
But I'm curious,
him.
why would there even be a possibility of him having that number of voice messages from you?
Because he's crazy. He wants to make this up. I mean, I've not phoned the guy. I don't have his number.
Yeah, but you're not sure that he hasn't got those?
I think the only explanation for having a voicemail from me would be taping me in the holy
Voicemail!
Or that you've left messages on his phone.
That's the other explanation, which just didn't happen.
Voicemail! Sure. That's not recording! Oh my gosh,
I didn't have his number.
You just said you weren't sure if these were your voice messages.
Yeah, what I mean is somebody could be taping me. You know, somebody could have taped me in the holy arms. On a dictaphone or something
but if
like that.
Here's my point to you, is that these are easily provable things.
Yeah.
He's either got them or he hasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll be asking for disclosure of that. But
and the emails, obviously, there'll be an IP address, and that if that leads to you.
Yeah, I mean, my point is, though, even if that were true, I didn't lunge at him across the bar. I didn't sexually assault him in a canal. I didn't go to jail.
I understand.
So,
but here's my point to you.
Yeah.
Here's my point to you, Fiona. And I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm genuinely fascinated by this story. I watched the drama. I saw them declare it at the start as a true story, and I've seen the interviews since with all various people, and it's clearly a very complex situation, this. But unless I'm mishearing you, I think what you're saying is there is a possibility that you send a lot of emails and there's a lot of voice messages,
I didn't say
but that it doesn't mean that you did the more serious things.
Yeah, I am not saying at all that I sent loads of emails. You maybe misheard, play back the interview. What I'm saying is a handful at most. If I did, congratulations about the show.
But if he does have 350 voice messages,
I know that he doesn't.
And it's your voice.
He doesn't.
And everyone can now hear your voice.
Unless he was taping me in the holy arms.
Or he just kept them on his phone.
I didn't phone him. You sound unconvinced, but
I'm not.
I
honestly,
I mean, what?
No. So is your point that are you challenging him to reveal this evidence?
No, I would challenge.
Well, why wouldn't you challenge him?
Because you're calling him a liar, and you're calling Netflix accomplice.
I didn't use those words. I said the story, the play, the Netflix show is not true.
No, but if they say that you sent 41,000 emails,
well, they are completely wrong.
All 744
They're
tweets.
completely wrong.
So they are lying.
They are lying. Yes.
You
okay.
do!
Yeah, in effect, he is lying and they are lying. And in order for a dramatization to be true, it's got to be, the only defences are veritas, I'm telling the truth, or the whole drama needs to be true. They have billed it as a true story, so has he, and it's not. It's blatantly not. Even if the email thing was true, the rest is not. So
why would you qualify that, Fiona?
Sorry, why would I what?
Why would you suddenly qualify even if it's true about the emails?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right, but when you say even if the emails were true,
I didn't say the 41.
It doesn't mean the more serious stuff is.
Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, you rephrase it.
I don't want to force you into saying anything that's
not
not actually true, but it seems to me that it may be possible that you have communicated all this stuff with him, but that doesn't mean you did the more serious thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't mean you attacked his girlfriend. It doesn't mean you smashed up a bar. It doesn't mean you did any of those things or threatened anybody else. It just, yes, you had a relationship with this guy, and you did contact him a lot.
I knew this guy. I didn't contact him a lot. I've never said that in this interview at all.
No, but interestingly, for me, as an interviewer, And I'm just trying to get to the truth. You understand?
No, I
honestly not trying to
see that. It's your show.
I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just trying to get to the truth.
I see that.
He has put his version out there, and the world has watched it.
Absolutely.
Millions and millions of people around the world have had Richard Gadd's version.
I know.
And I'm simply saying to you that you have a chance here, Fiona, I think, and take this any way you want, but you have a chance here to concede that some of these things might be possible, but that doesn't mean the more serious things happen.
I mean, what I'm saying is...
Because the more serious stuff we know is serious, right? If you were...
if you were in the jail or something...
If you were a violent stalker, or if you'd had a previous situation where you got this interim incident, which we know was served on you...
No, it was not. Sorry to interrupt there. No, she has repeatedly maintained this over 25 years. I checked with the Sheriff Clark. Another lawyer checked with the Sheriff Clark. We think that the previous scenario happened. She does not have an interim interdict. I think she's quite wrong.
Okay.
If the Sheriff Clark can produce that and say she didn't muck up and minuted for decree, why was I not served an interim injunction?
If Richard Gadd is watching this, what's your message to him?
Leave me alone, please. Get a life, get a proper job. I am horrified at what you've done.
And you will categorically be taking legal action?
Against against both him and Nick.
Why would you wait this long,
though? You said your boyfriend's a lawyer. So this
her boyfriend's a lawyer. Why would... Do you know what? This is the thing that irks me the most in these kind of situations. The same thing happened on a Channel 4 thing for Russell Brand, where he was accused for certain actions that I can't say properly because my children are here still. And the accusers went to Channel 4 as a TV show first, before they had even gone to the police and before they'd even taken it to the legal side of it, which made me instantly think, well, you're obviously talking rubbish then, otherwise you would have gone to the police first and you would have taken legal action first. So she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do legal action against it, I'm gonna whatever, basically go for him for defamation, whatever phrase fits whatever this is, because I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. The fact that she comes on to do a TV show. When did Baby Reindeer come out? How many weeks has it been out now? It's it's a few weeks, right? 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I actually can't remember when it came out. April 11th. Thank you so much. Like you said, yeah, exactly. If it hits Netflix, you go straight to the court. The minute it hit Netflix, maybe she didn't know because she wasn't named in it. But then but within 4 days, I think they said, or something like that, she was tracked down on the internet as Martha. So the minute she started getting that, at that point she would have gone, especially being a lawyer and knowing how it all works, she would have wanted to risk coming on TV and having Piers Morgan, of all interviewers, who is known for being the one who will ask and kind of pick and pull apart everything. She wouldn't risk coming on this show before going to get legal action against it, because that could essentially damage her case, which it will have, because what a pile of rubbish this is. Do you know what I mean? If she genuinely was going to take legal action, she would have done it before coming on this show. Surely she can't be this stupid. I get the feeling she's not a real lawyer. Well, she did when she was younger. She did train to be a lawyer, but she was laid off, blah 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 blah, kicked out, whatever, due to bad behaving and stuff. So she's qualified, but then whatever she was, and then she never, according to the show, she never progressed because she got removed from her job. So I don't know how far her lawyerness is now or whatever. I don't know what she's trying to say now, because obviously this is the real one. But in the show, she never becomes a real lawyer, because once she gets to a certain level, she gets kicked off or whatever, and she can't comprehend a voicemail. Oh my god, I know, that's driving me crazy that she's getting the word voicemail wrong. It's literally driving me absolutely potty. The fact that she says she's going to take legal action is such a crazy thing.
Yeah. He's not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. Somebody else is.
Have you instructed lawyers?
We've instructed them in part, but we want to explore all the options out there. There are a number of people to sue. We can't all be in 10 courts all at once. So.
Who else are you planning to sue?
The Daily Mail. Anyone that's saying this is true and harassing me and that kind of thing. We have not had time to do everything.
If the investigation, if you sue and there's discovery, and it turns out that 41,000 emails did come from a device belonging
Just
to
to everyone, sue the whole
how
world.
would you feel about that?
I wouldn't be suing if I thought there were 41,000 emails out there.
You understand how easy it is to find them,
I understand completely.
and that if they did exist, and you're categoric that they didn't, it would obviously
It wouldn't
impact
blow the
on
whole
you.
case. It wouldn't blow the case against Netflix and it wouldn't blow the case against him.
No, you
because
might
he's
well have
making out it's a true story.
No,
If you see what I mean, I'm back
No.
to my original position.
I understand, and I understand that it's obviously put your life into a very difficult position.
It's very
And their central claim that they made all this effort not to lead to you being identified, I don't think stands water.
I don't think it stands water.
To me, it's pretty. I could have listen. I've been a journalist 40 years. I could have discovered it was you in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Once I'd watched.
Yes,
it.
I agree. I discovered it was me when I saw the BBC breaking news Baby Reindeer show at the Edinburgh Festival, when I was Googling up just the news that day or the weather or something, and this came up, and he was holding up a placard or a newspaper article, MP's wife stalker, all you need to do is Google that. Then I saw the name of the show, and what's he up to?
Yeah.
And I tried to get a friend to go see the show because she was based in Edinburgh, but she was on holiday. Nobody I know had seen that show either. So I was really shocked. I was very upset for 2-3 days. And then the general plan of action among my close friends was, look, just let him get on with things. He's not going to be that damaging. You don't really know him. This will go away.
When did you last have any contact?
If those emails are real, that's insane. Well, when you think about it, when you look at the TV show, when she's sending him emails, so she sends him emails almost immediately, and like she only stops sending him emails when she gets hold of his phone number like a year later. Like, do you know what I mean? That's not just like a couple of emails to trace over a couple of months. That's like, what was it, 100 or 200 a day or something crazy, however many it is, a year. And yeah, I mean, like all the messages that are put up on screen are supposed to be like actual, like real messages or whatever. They're meant to be real. I googled this when I was watching with my friend on Monday, and yeah, they're supposed to be like the real messages and whatever. So it's like, but like that's not. I don't understand how if she sent these emails, which, I mean, we obviously we could sit here and we could say, oh, it is her, blah, 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 look at the way she's acting. Obviously, we don't actually know. We think we know, and we could pretty much work it out, but obviously we don't actually know. But it's like, if she did send them, how on earth is she going to, continue to deny all the other stuff when, 41,000 emails is absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever even received 41,000 junk emails over my entire life since I've had my email address. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's actually mental. And it's like, and then she said that even if there's 41,000 emails, that's not going to blow the case. Well, why would you even say that? Because there wouldn't be an even if, because it would be an irrelevant point to make. That's like me saying, even if I set fire to my kitchen, but I never set fire to my kitchen, so it's irrelevant to even say I set fire to my kitchen, because there is no, well, even if they decide I set fire to my kitchen, no, because it didn't happen. That's it. Like, it didn't happen, so that's not a relevant thing to make. It would be a case of saying, well, I didn't set fire to my kitchen, so when they proved da-da-da-da-da. Do you know what I mean? And she said that on something else. There was another one she said as well, where she was like, oh, the 350 voicemails. I doubt that. But wait, no, I didn't have his number. And it's like, for somebody who trained to be a lawyer, one, she shouldn't be cracking under pressure with this kind of conversation because she's supposed to be an intellectual person. Two, she would have been prepped before she came on if this was actually really, really true that she didn't do it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She's just making it worse for herself. And if she has this lawyer boyfriend for 5 years, surely he should be going there go, Fiona, no, you do tend to twaffle some rubbish. Don't do it. Don't go on there. Unless he's thick as poo. But he's a lawyer, so he's not thick because you can't be a thick lawyer. So it's like, why aren't the people that know her, this 5-year imaginary boyfriend who lives in London or wherever she said he lives, but doesn't want to say where he is or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, if she does in fact have an intelligent boyfriend who's a lawyer, she's done it for 5 years, he knows her well enough to know that she will just talk rubbish. Which makes me think he doesn't exist, because I would if someone said, if I was going to go on a TV show, I would want the people who know me, who are nearest and dearest to me, to know that I don't stop talking. So therefore, I'm just going to, if I'm going to try and like talk about something that is important and big and huge as this, don't let me do it, because I'm just going to keep talking until I dig myself a hole. So why did nobody say that to her? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, everything she's doing is so back and forth. And like, I don't understand why Piers isn't writing all of this down. Go, but you said this, but you just said this, but you just said this, because that's what I would be wanting to do. It's like infuriating to watch. I just find the whole thing like crazy that she could actually genuinely be sat there, because even like, unless she's pure crazy, she's not stupid, right? And we saw that in the show, how she had done things like she knew how to dodge. She was a serial stalker, and she knew how to dodge the law and be able to stalk without technically breaking the rules, and the way that she was recording him and all this. Anyway, she managed to swerve and dodge and because she had done it so many times. And obviously she has trained in law and stuff like that. So she's not a stupid woman, which means that she must be crazy. But it's like, if she's crazy, why did the people who know her stop her? Unless she genuinely doesn't know anybody. But if she's not stupid, then she knows that all this could be traced. It's why she probably thinks she could manipulate the interview. Yeah, but surely then, like, people have said to her, no, mate, we can find the IP address of all the emails. No, we can listen to the 350 voicemails where you could hear that she's talking directly to him and saying weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like, hang my beef curtains. Like, it's, like, you know?
I'm set with him.
Really need to fix that stupid bot that's doing that.
His last words, years ago.
Do you remember when?
Years ago, no. I left the Holy Arms, didn't go back, and he was calling me a stalker and things. And there were various things happening in the Holy Arms. You know, other women were warning me about them and everything. Yeah.
About him?
About him and others with bad conduct.
In relation to the 106 letters that he and Netflix say you sent. Well, here's my point. You've admitted sending him one. And that presumably was a handwritten letter.
Could it be, are you thinking I was maybe mistaken, that I maybe did? And
No. I'm just saying, if we accept that the one that you admit to sending is in your own handwriting, he has another 105 letters in your handwriting.
Nonsense.
Are you prepared for him to show that one?
He's
and the
maybe
others?
forged things.
He's forged it.
Forge a lot of things.
Do you think he could successfully write 105 letters to himself?
Well, I certainly didn't.
You admit to sending one. My point is, if it turns out the other 105 are exactly the same handwriting, wouldn't that point to maybe...
we would obviously bring in handwriting experts. I didn't do it.
You only ever sent one letter?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't sent that guy 106 letters.
Do you still email people?
What do you mean?
Do you send emails?
Yeah.
Do you have the same email address you've always had?
I had 6 at one point.
Why?
Because I like to keep people on different phones and different emails.
Six different email
easier.
accounts?
Maybe 4. I think it's 4 to 6, yeah. It's easier. It's easier. So you have some for your utilities, some for close friends, whatever. Yeah.
The 6 is a lot. I don't know anybody with 6 email addresses.
You don't know many people then. I know people with 4 or 6 email addresses.
Did she just say to Piers Morgan he doesn't know many people? Look, Mr. Famous Man, you don't know anyone, okay? No one knows you and you don't know anyone. I, little Miss Martha Fiona, whatever her name is, I know more people than you, Piers Morgan. And literally, little old me, I have 3 emails and I consider that a lot, do you know what I mean? But like, imagine saying that to someone who's actually don't know a lot of people, then I know so many more. Like, I know loads of people who have this. Like, you don't know many people. Like, sit back down, Mr. Nobody.
Or was it 4 or 6?
I can't remember. Probably 6. Probably 6.
How many do you use today?
I had 4 phones. I've got 1 today, but I only email select friends.
And you have 4 phones?
Yeah, 2 broke. They were very, very old. 1 was brand new and broke, and it's still to be returned to the shop. I like keeping people on separate phones as well. And maybe that makes me a maniac or a stalker or something, but if you've got somebody on about your electricity bill or somebody on about some work or something, it's nice to keep it separate, you know.
Wouldn't you just see who's calling you on the phone when the number comes up? Like, if it's about your gas, the gas number comes up. If it's about the electric number comes up. If it's John from down the road, guess what? John's number comes up. Like, that's it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have 3 phones. So I understand having lots of phones, but only one of my phones has my telephone SIM card in it, so I only receive phone calls on one phone. But the other phones I do other things with, like one is for listening to my Audible and music in bed, and the other one is for when I need to have 2 phones. Like if I'm on the phone, I need to be taking pictures of shiz and stuff like that. Like I have a lot of phones, but I don't like have 3 active phones with like messages and phone calls and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Only one is active. Does that make me like her? I'm being her the same thing because I have lots of email addresses and I have lots of phones. Time for Finny to get a new phone for a new boyfriend. No, it's fine because they're all in this one phone. Do you know why? Because they've all got their own names, so it's fine. And then I can see them. They're all here together. I joke. I don't have lots of boyfriends. I don't. I swear. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to press play. Oh, no, someone said something. I have 3 phones with people legit say, drug dealer when I get the other one. Yes, I get that so many times. I either get drug dealer or I get that I have multiple boyfriends and stuff like that. Like, but I don't. Like I said, 2 of the other ones, they don't work the same. All my boyfriends are in one phone. Yes, a spicy phone, exactly. I have a I don't. Anyway, let's stop talking about all my many men. Go back to the video. I'm gonna shut up now before I dig myself a really huge hole. Moving on. Yes, look. Oh no, I can press play. There we go.
Oh, so I didn't do that in Scotland. You didn't have to, but the volume of calls
do you
down
think,
here
Fiona, do you think if somebody did send someone 41,000 emails, 350
I think that's
voice messages,
excessive, obviously, yeah.
Would that mean someone's stalking someone?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it could be it could be your wife. It could be you know.
I do not send my wife or husband 41,000 emails.
41,000 is a lot. That's how many a day? My maths isn't working this time of night. But it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean they're stalking somebody. They could be great friends. You know, they could have been friends for
41,000.
Was he your friend, Richard Gad?
No. Staff asked me that as well. No, I don't think so.
You had a lot of banter with him.
Yeah, but banter's one thing. Scottish banter down here is quite kind of welcome. You know, it's not really fun city, is it? It's not jokey city.
Were you ever in love with him?
Yes. Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
No. No.
It's not a question of, by his own admission, he has said that he led you on at times. And he clearly
I gave him the brush off. He asked me to sleep with him. And with a big green spot in his face one day. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
He asked you to do what?
He asked me to sleep with him. He said, would I like my curtains fixed? And I laughed. And he said, that's a euphemism. Do you want me to come home with you? And I said, I've got a boyfriend. I gave him the brush off big time, I think. You know, subtly so, but the bottom line is, I think this is behind him. No, I don't fancy him. I don't fancy little boys without jobs.
He had a job.
That sounds awful. That sounds really, really callous, but, you know.
People will watch this who've watched the Netflix series.
Yes, we will.
They will be trying to work out where the truth lies. It seems to me that either you're innocent in the way that you've claimed to be, and you've been horribly defamed here. I think at the very least, the Netflix duty of care and Richard Gere's duty of care has been a spectacular failure.
I agree.
Right, regardless of anything else, regardless of your culpability of anything, the duty of care has failed because people identified you incredibly quickly. So they've made this what they say is a true story, and everyone's worked out it's you, and the picture they paint is of a completely crazed stalker ruining a man's life, albeit he accepts that some of his behaviour may have led the person on.
Can I ask a question? Do you happen to know how much he's made out of this Netflix thing?
I would imagine several £1 million.
Yes, I would say 3 to 4 million. A lawyer I know well thought he was a wee nobody, and he suggested 750 to 100,000. I said, no, I think you're looking more about 3 or 4 million, and I think the more he publicises, it goes up. According to how much it's streamed. I don't know the contract they signed. I think he's done bloody well out of defaming.
Do you resent that?
I don't resent any Scot getting on. This is not what this is about.
But he's effectively making money out of what he
says. He's making money out of
what
my
he says
misery,
is you stalking him.
Yeah, he's making money out of untrue facts.
But it doesn't bother her,
though.
though.
Misogynist. The actress was also not appealing for calm. He was appealing for calm. I think he did that to sort of stir things up more. I think they knew exactly what they were doing, and I think your staff were talking about Martha, the sequel, or something like this. It's just completely
That's what
crazy.
people are hinting at.
It's completely crazy. Well, your staff put that to me and put to me, should I write a book about this? Well, I've got other things to do, but it's a possibility.
You got a law degree.
Yeah.
Law degree, so you're obviously very bright. How did you do at school?
I've got a photographic memory. I was top of the school, apart from my science.
Okay, hold on. Before I say the next bit, I need to clear this up. If you have a photographic memory, does that mean that you remember everything, right? Like it means you don't forget stuff. Like you like remember numbers and shiz like that. So if you sent like so many emails, you'd remember it. And if you have was it 4 or 6 email addresses, you would know how many email addresses you've had and stuff like that. Like you would remember this stuff, and therefore you would remember the stuff you said in this conversation, and not 10 minutes later, thank you for the follow, and not 10 minutes later forget what it is you said, right? Right? Just say that. Cause like, okay, cool. So everyone put your hands together and pray that Piers Morgan follows up that line with, but you can't remember how many emails you sent or how many voicemails you sent. Oh my God, everyone has to go. Are you ready? Please. He will be my favouriteest person in the whole world if he calls her on that sentence. Here we go.
Which school was that?
Balfour High. I went to the science person got the most marks because you can get 99%.
How many O and A levels did you end up with?
I got 6 Rs, 2 SYSs, and they were all sort of, most were A-band 1s, which was when the A-band 1 was top of the thing.
And with your law degree, what grade did you get?
Not bad. I mean, all right.
What was it?
I just did an ordinary degree and then a diploma in legal practice.
Well, what grades did you get?
All right grades, but I went out partying. I didn't do an honours degree, so just bog standard grades really.
Which is what?
You did a law degree? Or?
I did a law degree with 13 law subjects, so it wasn't CPE or anything, which I also have from down here, but it was 13 law subjects.
This is from Aberdeen University?
Yeah.
So what degree did you end up with?
A law degree, and then I did a politics degree after that.
And what grade did you get?
Politics, women's studies.
Oh yeah, with that photographic memory, but she went to remember it.
Because I did more work. I think in our day, when you went to university, you did.
There's a reason you say you got a photographic memory, but what grades did you get?
All right grades. I mean, not top of the year or anything.
No. When you do a degree, you get a...
Yeah, you're asking me what marks I got for 13 subjects. I can't remember.
Photographic memory!
Did you get a first-class degree?
Oh, no. Well, I said I didn't do an honours degree. I wanted to go out and practice, so it was an ordinary degree I did.
Right, but you can't remember how you did.
I did all right. I didn't do top of the year.
The other graduates at the same time, they'd all remember you.
Some of them remember me. One of them did incredibly well. He's a High Court judge. Some people didn't do well. I think the general idea in the 80s was we didn't really do much work. That sounds absolutely awful. But, you know, that was kind of the 80s.
If it came to it, would you take a lie detector test?
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. We need to consult other lawyers about that.
If we set one up, you would do it.
A lie detector test for what? You know,
Well, no,
stop
the police, as you know,
motorboats.
the police use them. They're just an indication.
They
really.
use them for mass murder and things like that.
Well, no, they use them in many cases just to determine whether they think someone's telling the
They
truth.
don't use them that much. I know you've done the programs of women behind bars and things. I confess, I think I've just seen one, but it's not used that much.
Well, look, I'll be honest with you.
I'd have to have a think.
Since
yeah.
you've mentioned it, I've done a lot of crime interviews with people who've committed way worse offences than what you've been accused of.
Yeah, I haven't. I know we have.
You know, way more mass murderers, serial killers, and so on. And they're all, I've got to say, almost all of them are very good liars. Could it be, people to be asking this, watching you thinking, either she's genuinely innocent here, or she's a terrible liar, who is capable of all of these things.
I don't lie, and
everyone lies.
I tell white lies if I absolutely have to. Like when my 94-year-old ex-neighbour was dying, we all knew she was dying, and I'd phoned her in the hospital the night before.
No one needs to know this story. What a waste of time.
You know, have a good sleep. Everything's going to be fine, and that. You know. So I'll tell a white lie like that when somebody clearly needed some rest. And
how many times did you meet Richard Gere?
Don't know.
What would you guess?
5, 6, maybe 5, 6 times.
That's it?
Yeah.
In your life?
Yeah.
How do you think it's come to this, if that's all true?
I think he wanted to make money. I think he picked on somebody. There was a backstory there with that stalker article out there, right? So stalking's in vogue. Going to prison's in vogue. What do writers say, or English lecturers or something, write about what you know.
And to people who are watching, look down the barrel of that camera.
Yeah.
To people who are watching this and who still doubt you, what do you say to them?
I think you should watch this. I think you should look at the number of articles that Richard Gadd and Jessica the actress have done, and how Netflix and he have promoted this. I think you should look at him saying, I am some sort of mental case, and judge for yourselves. Because I can't change your mind on this. I
mean,
can
you
just
can.
rebut what has been said. You need to make up your own minds. But my mind is made up. He's a liar. And my friends say likewise.
Fiona Harvey, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, guys. She just made that so much worse for herself, I think. I don't think a single person watching that is going to sit there and go, do you know what? He's obviously lying. Netflix is lying. Like, oh my God. I actually can't believe. Just everything she said hurt my head then. Like literally hurt my head. That was actually the craziest thing ever. I thought we were going to come on and we were going to see either a really drooling crazy person. Hey Spoods, how you doing? Like an actual crazy person, or some proper suave person who like was able to run circles around him because she was a bit smarter than that, blah blah blah. I don't know that I didn't expect just some blabbering kind of fool lady. Do you know what I mean?